Hi everyone, welcome back to Falcon's House. This is the Lost Watch vlog. This time I am covering the Season 2 finale, which was 2 episodes long. As we ended the last episode, there was a boat heading toward the beach. Jack, Saeed, and Sawyer jump in the water and start swimming towards the boat. They climb on board and there is nobody on the top deck. There is then a spray of bullets from below deck and the entrance to the bottom deck. They open the door and Desmond is there and he is drunk. They ask him why he came back. He says that it wasn't his intention, and he says that he sailed in one direction for 2 weeks at 9 knots and he should have reached Fiji after 1. He says that they are in a snow globe and that they are unable to escape. I have wondered about the location of the island and that it might not be where they think it is, or that it can move, which would explain how people of vastly different parts of the world ended up here. In the flashback, Desmond is being released from prison and being dishonorably discharged from the Royal Army Scottish Division. He has a book by Charles Dickens that he says he hasn't read and that it'll be the last thing that he reads before he dies. In the parking lot, he is approached by a man named Charles Widmore who says that he prevented communication between Desmond and his daughter while he was in prison and tells him to leave her alone. Desmond wants to prove his worth to him and goes to the U.S. to train for a sailing race that Charles sponsors. He spends all of his money on a taxi and ends up meeting Libby at a coffee shop, and she pays for his coffee. They then talk for a while, and he tells her that he needs a boat for the race. She tells him that her husband, who has recently passed away, had a boat, and she's willing to give it to him for this race. He goes to a stadium to train, where he meets Jack, and while he is there, Widmore's daughter, Penny, shows up and says that she tracked him down. He says that he wants to win the race and that he will come back for her. While he is in the ocean, there is a storm and his boat crashes on the island. He is laying in the shallows where he is rescued by a man in a hazmat suit. The man takes him to the hatch and asks him the code word to see if he is the replacement. But Desmond doesn't know what he is talking about. The computer starts beeping, and the man puts in the code and says that he is saving the world. The man says his name is Kelvin Inman, and he is the person who made Saeed, the torture his commander, and taught Saeed what he knows. He has Desmond watch the video about how the station works, and they work on the station together for a few years. Kelvin has found a way to short the blast doors and has been using invisible ink to record information about the island in the hatches that he knows about on the back of the door. This is what Locke later finds out and sees all this information about the other hatches. Desmond asks about his former partner and is asked about his former partner and says that he committed suicide. Later, Desmond wakes up about the computer beeping and he goes to the room to enter the code and he sees the trap door open. He goes down and Kelvin has a key. He says that it'll make it all disappear if he uses it. It seems to be some sort of failsafe. Kelvin is drunk and doesn't use the key. Desmond goes outside on the next mission and wants to go outside on the next mission, but Kelvin doesn't let him, saying that it's too dangerous. Desmond notices that the hazmat suit is torn and then follows him when he leaves. Kelvin notices and confronts Desmond, and Desmond notices his sailboat. Kelvin says that he has been fixing it and is about a week away from being ready. Desmond gets mad that he was going to be left behind and attacks Kelvin and accidentally kills him. He takes the key. He then rushes back to the hatch where the computer is already beeping. As the computer reaches 0, we get a clear view of all the hieroglyphics and the machinery starts spinning up like what has happened previously. All of the metal objects start flying across the room. So whatever the station really does, it is really doing something and not just in their imagination. But the computer system starts saying error, and he is not able to enter the code for a few seconds. But eventually he gets to work, and everything goes back to normal. He starts drinking, and then he hears Locke banging on the hatch. Back in the current time frame, Locke gets Desmond to help him take back control of the computer from Mr. Echo, because Locke wants to be free of the timer, and now believes that the whole thing is an experiment to get people to press a button. Desmond helps Locke hotwire the blast doors so they can force them shut. Echo gets mad and says that he needs to press a button. He says that he has to go to get Charlie to get help, because if he doesn't, everyone will die. Charlie agrees, even though he's still mad about Echo not helping him finish the church. Echo asks how they open the hatch, and Charlie tells him with dynamite. They then go find the dynamite that Hurley hid, and they set up the dynamite to blow open the door. Desmond tells Locke nothing less than a nuke will open it. Echo sets off the dynamite and is knocked out from the blast, and Charlie is mildly injured. The group with Michael leaves to track down the others. They bring a lot of the remaining guns with them that the group has. Saeed convinces Jin to go with him, and Sun says that they will need a translator, and she is coming too. They are going to take a sailboat around the outside to the camp that Michael described before Michael groups get there and so that they can scout it. He will then signal Jack with a smoke fire, and that Jack shouldn't tell Kate and Hurley and Sawyer so they can continue to trust Michael and make it believable. Michael's group comes across a weird bird that is tree-colored and says Hurley as they shoot at it. Michael finds out that there are not any bullets in his gun. Jack says he forgot and loads the gun. Michael seems suspicious of Jack now. They come across two of the others following them, and Sawyer starts shooting at them. They're able to kill one. Jack then tells Michael that they know he is working with the others and that it is a trap. Michael says that he killed Ana Lucia and Libby, but that he wasn't thinking about when he killed Libby to try to appease Hurley. Hurley says that even if he was thinking it, he wouldn't have changed his mind. I really wanted Hurley to take a gun and kill Michael right here. Michael deserves it and is the worst person. Even if he is trying to save Walt, sacrificing everyone else is not the way to do it. Hurley wants to leave, but Jack tells him no, and that he has a plan. They continue on and come across a pipe with all the journals that the people in the Pearl were writing down. I wonder what happened to those people. And it also shows that that was the experiment, was to get them to watch everybody else and see if they'll do it, and it isn't what Locke thinks it is about pressing the button. That wasn't what the psychology experiment was. They realize that Michael isn't taking him to the beach where Saeed is, and start hearing whispers of others. Sawyer gets shot in the neck with a dart and falls down. Jack shoots into the jungle and runs with Kate, but Kate is also hit. They are then all captured. They are all hooded and brought to a dock. Henry shows up and says that they are true to their word and they won't kill Jack, Kate, Sawyer, and Hurley. He gives Michael the boat and tells him to head to 325 on the compass until they are saved. Michael threatens to come back once he tells the outside world, and Henry says they won't find it and that Michael also did bad things. Walt is on the boat and they start to sail away. Henry tells Michael that they're the good guys. Saeed's group sails past a giant stone foot with only 4 toes. This seems to be much older than anything else on the island, possibly thousands of years old. Saeed explores the others' camp, which is abandoned, and the doors to the Dharma Loda lead to a rock wall. The whole thing was a setup, and then they knew that they would try this. Locke continues to get Desmond to believe that the button does nothing. Desmond asks to see the tape, but Locke says there isn't a way to watch it from here. He says that these journals showed up, and that's what showed what was going on. Desmond starts going through them and asks Locke what day was it when the flight crash was. He finds the entry for the log that says there was a system failure and realizes that when he didn't push the button, that's what caused the plane crash. He is then convinced that they need to push the button, and he will do it if Locke won't. Locke still doesn't believe that anything will happen. Locke then smashes the computer on the ground so that there is no way that it can be used. Desmond then opens the blast doors and runs out and starts reading the book that he wanted to read. He then realizes he has the key and can prevent another incident. He goes down below the hatch to where the switch is and uses the key as the whole system starts to fail. All the metal is being sucked into the frame and the timer bends. There is a loud humming noise and white light shoots out and covers the entire island, and the sky turns purple and causes a lot of pain for everyone in both groups before it starts to go away. The hatch door flies through the air and lands on the beach. Charlie shows back up to the beach and talks to Claire, and she kisses him. Hurley is released by the others as a warning message to survivors that they need to stay away. Sawyer, Jack, and Kate are taken as prisoners. We then cut back to an Arctic station with a lot of snow and two men are playing chess and are interrupted by an alert about an electromagnetic anomaly detected. They say that this is what they have been waiting for, and they didn't miss it this time. They call Penny Widmore and tell her that they think they have found it. I wonder how she knew to look for electromagnetic stuff. It seems like a lot more is going on than we had been led to believe. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with other Lost fans.